Matthew 6:16 through 18 says, "And when you fast, do not look gloomy like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces that their fasting may be seen by others. Truly I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, that your fasting may not be seen by others, but by your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you." My name is Ollie, and this is Ministry Account. Today, we're going to be talking about demystifying spiritual fasting. So, the first thing to know about fasting, first of all, if you're new to it as a believer, you may have the question, what is spiritual fasting? What is fasting? I'm not talking about a health kick. I'm not talking about intermittent fasting to lose weight or to have a better diet or to feel better. I'm talking about spiritual fasting. There are lots of thoughts on spiritual fasting. Some people believe that you can fast social media and do different things like that don't pertain to food. However, in regards to this video and this content, the definition for spiritual fasting we have here is that it's not a social media cleanse. Fasting has to do specifically a dietary restriction. There are different types of fasts that people can do. There are dry fasts in which you have no food, no water for a certain amount of time, and this could be hours to days. There are water fasts, which include just water, and those can go hours, days. There are full fasts, which include liquids, and when most people fast, they do this, a full fast. There are Daniel fasts. The book of Daniel in scripture, Daniel eats vegetables, whereas the Babylonian king gave his servants meat. He was just as strong, if not stronger, than the ones who ate the king's meat. Another type of fasting, of course, is intermittent fasting, in which you eat for a certain amount of the day and then you don't eat for the rest of the day. There are 3-day fasts, there are 7-day fasts, there are 21-day fasts that you can do. There are 40-day fasts. We see in scripture where Jesus fasted in the wilderness for 40 days. A fast that I grew up and hearing about and eventually practiced was one that David Wilkerson popularized in modern day. It's where you fast one day out of your week and you just give that day to the Lord for him to have, and you pray. There's so many different types of fasts. There are corporate fasts that you can do with a church body or with a group of believers who are praying for something specific. All of this has to do with a dietary restriction. In Matthew 3:4-6 says, "Now John wore a garment of camel's hair and a leather belt around his waist, and his food was locusts and wild honey. Then Jerusalem and all Judea and all the region about the Jordan were going out to him, and they were baptized by him in the river Jordan, confessing their sin." So fasting marks a believer. Fasting does something in the spiritual realm. Something that I recommend to everyone, and I'll repeat this over and over again, is that when you fast, it's not just to restrict food. It's not just to deny your flesh. But when you fast, you need to pray. Praying is integral to a spiritual fast. Joel 2:15-17 says, "Blow the trumpet in Zion, consecrate a fast, call a solemn assembly. Gather the people, consecrate the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children, even nursing infants. Let the bridegroom leave his room, and the bride her chamber. Between the vestibule and the altar, let the priests, the ministers of the Lord, weep, and say, 'Spare your people, O Lord, and make not your heritage a reproach, a byword among the nations. Why should they say among the peoples, where is their God?'" Fasting is about your spirit. You are a spiritual being, and fasting denies your flesh, and prayer and spiritual disciplines feed your spirit. Don't fast unless you're going to pray intentionally. Fasting avoids physical distractions, and it allows you to focus on prayer. You're not just disconnecting from food, you're disconnecting from all the activities that come along with food, whether that be washing the dishes, preparing meals, unless you're making meals for your family or anything like that. It gives you time to intentionally connect with the Lord, whereas otherwise you would be making food or eating in those times. Replace those times with intentional prayer that you think about, that you spend with the Lord, that you connect with Him. And finally, just some advice for fasting. Be wise when you fast. If you have an eating disorder, I don't recommend you to fast. Do the social media thing. Do something that doesn't dietarily restrict you. That's wisdom to not fast whenever you have experienced or experience an eating disorder. Do not overdo it in excitement or zeal and fast, 40 days and make yourself sick, or when you come off the fast to make yourself sick. Don't make it a spectacle. You don't have to keep it this hush secret from the people that are close to you. You just tell them, hey, I'm fasting. Don't make it a scene. Don't sigh. Don't exasperate. I'm struggling so hard. This is the most difficult thing I'm doing. Yes, you can acknowledge that it's difficult, because it is, but don't make yourself a spectacle. Another piece of advice is ask God how you should fast. If you've never done it before, ask the Lord, how should I do this? Fasting isn't just about denying the flesh. It's a time to seek Him intentionally. You don't earn anything from God whenever you fast. However, it makes you more aware of the spiritual, as the spiritual is strengthened when you fast intentionally. And third, and most of all, do not be hard on yourself if you break your fast or don't fast as long as you anticipated for or planned to. The Lord honors every single sacrifice that you make. If you fail during a fast, either pick back up where you left off or stop. Reassess where the mess up happened or the fail happened and try again another time or even in another season if you feel drawn to that. But remember, God honors effort, not exhaustion. You're not fasting to starve yourself or do anything but deny the flesh and pursue and seek the Lord. Now, a question for you. How do you make fasting part of your regular rhythm and routine? Maybe it's weekly, bi-weekly, seasonally. It's difficult, but it's so worth it. Thank you for watching. I pray that you're blessed. I pray that you enjoyed this video and got something out of it. I pray that it brings you closer to the Lord as you fast and as you think about fasting as a lifestyle. Please follow, like, subscribe, and thank you for watching.